So you should be able to see the screen, right? Let me see if it is, tell me if it is in full screen. Hope it is in full screen. Sorry for the delay. It took too long. I think.
It is on full screen.
It's on full screen. Okay. It's getting very slow on my computer. For some reason, my computer is not reacting well today. No, why? Connected to the full screen here. Okay. All right. I hope you can hear me. Everything is okay, right? I don't know what's happening. Okay. Today is extremely slow. I have to just get my PowerPoint working. I think I have a problem. Hold on a second. Can you see my screen? Everything is okay?
Fine, everything is okay.
Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. See, so many things are out of our control. I wanted to start at 8:05 today and make sure that we at least cover some ground. 10 minutes computer problem. Okay, now we start. In the last class, we were discussing the 15th chapter. And what did we do? Oh, the 15th chapter. Okay, I think we were summarizing the 15th chapter here. I'm just going to summarize so that we'll get the context properly. Main thing about this 15th chapter is there are different entities here in front of us. We are bound Jivatmas, at least most of us. And Brahman is different from this bound and also pure Jivatma, who is Muktatma. And Brahman is different from matter, Prakriti. Brahman pervades everything else and controls this universe. So it controls even Muktatma, which even though Muktatmas are free from bondage. And that is why the Brahman is known as Purushottama. And the nature of the Chit, Achit, and Ishvara are explained in the 15th chapter. And it's a very important chapter because we need to realize these three entities. Sometimes we only realize the universe in front of us. Sometimes we just are worried about ourselves. But the truth is that Purushottama is everywhere. He is the controller, he is the, and only for his purpose this universe exists. This is a very important point to understand. And ordinarily, in life, we tend to forget that. And this universal tree has the roots at the top. The Brahma, the creator, or even the Parabrahma himself, that's where the roots are. The branches of this universe keeps on growing because of the interaction between the gunas, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, and the objects of senses. Imagine 8 billion people of us, and so many insects and animals. We are constantly or under the sway of the gunas. We have this kama, krodha, lobhas, and so many things. And due to that, we do so many things. And this universe grows. And not only grows in this janma, but every janma people take, they go to a different life. And from all the way from the Chaturmukha Brahma down below the Devas and everything, they're all going through this changes. This universe is constantly changing. What is constant about this universe is that it is always changing. No one can understand this universe because we can only get a glimpse. Here and there, we can get an idea of what it is. But at the end of the day, what is your goal? You have to give up. You have to disconnect from this universe. Asanga Shastrena Dhridayana Chitva. That means this universe is bondage in a way. We should live in it. We should make use of the facilities given to us in this universe. At the same time, realize that Purushottama, that Parabrahma, that is the goal of life. And detachment is a method to get there. Only by surrender to the universal supreme person, one can find the path to a safe place where this bondage will not affect you and you will not be subject to the return to this samsara cycle of births and deaths. So this tameva chadyam purusham prapadye, that means that purusha one has to surrender to. And that is wonderfully indicated in the 15th chapter. So those who have surrendered, those who have achieved the qualities that support surrender, they lose the Dehatma Brahma or the illusion that this is the body is me, the body is I, and they get equanimity of mind. They attain that divine state. They attain, what do they achieve? They achieve, once you lose the Sangha. What is that Sangha? Is I and mine, me, aham mama. This feeling of everything is for me, or I am great, or all these feelings should go away. That is the biggest problem. Such people attain self-realization. That means they understand who they are. What is the nature of their Jivatma? And this Jivatma is an Amsha of the God, Amsha of Krishna. That is, from Krishna came all the Jivatmas. And we are in these bodies and experiencing different things. So the thing is, we don't realize that, oh, we are stuck in this body and we will leave this body when we die. Yogis realize what this Jivatma is and how this Jivatma leaves the body and where do these Jivatmas go. They realize that. And this is the nature of Jivatma explained in the 15th chapter. In summary, they explain in the 15th chapter how Jivatmas experience pleasure, pain, and all these anubhavas here. And also a pure Jivatma can get released from the cycle of birth and death. Lord Krishna says in the 15th chapter, I am the power behind all this universe. I am responsible for everybody's breath, the body, digestion, nature, the thinking power, Makta Smriti, Jnanam, Apohanam cha. Everything is Krishna. Because of Krishna, everything works. And also, he reminds that I am in the hearts of everyone. I am the person to be known. Vedasya sarvaihi ahameva vedyaha. Vedanta krit veda videva chaham. I am the giver of the fruits of every yajna. Whatever people perform, wherever, I am the giver of the fruits. I am the only person to be known in the Vedas. And so I am different from Kshara and Akshara. Kshara is that perishable ones. Kshara Purusha is that person who is stuck in matter. Akshara Purusha is one released from bondage. And Paramatma is different from both of these. And that Paramatma sustains everyone, pervades everything, controls everything. This is the fundamental view of 15th chapter. Such a person who knows Purushottama as it is will worship that Lord Paramatma in every way. This is the utmost secret. What does it end? The shloka, which the final shloka of the 15th chapter is 14th, 15th. Iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam maya nagham etad buddha buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. The word guhyatamam, utmost secret, is not used by Sri Krishna everywhere. Etad guhyatamam is used here in 15th chapter, last shloka. Similarly, in the 18th shloka, sarva guhyatamam, wait a minute, what is that in the 18th chapter? Sarvaguhyatamam bhuyah shrunume paramam vachaha ishtosime dridamati tato vakshami te hitam. That is the 18th chapter, 64th shloka. Even there, Lord Krishna uses the term Sarvaguhyatamam, the utmost secret. In the 18th chapter, he says Sarvaguhyatamam. That means it is a secret of all secrets. Here in the 15th chapter at the end, he says Iti Guhyatamam. It is one of the topmost secrets. That's what the 15th chapter is. Once you know it, you have done what you need to do. Because if you know the secret of the 15th chapter, you have already done what needs to be done. That means you know what to do. This is a very important chapter. See, I was thinking about this 15th chapter, and a couple of days back, we are just, a couple of us are reading the Nalayana Deva Prabandham, and we were reading the shloka. In the second, the Tiruvalmuri, in the Vidaman Muttamam Pashanam, after the Vidaman Muttamam, that this is, I think, third or fourth one, Illadum, Ulladum, Alladu, Avanuru, Yellayil, Annalam, Pulgu, Pattate. I'm not good in Tamil, and you know already. So, what is the meaning of this? The shloka is very, this Pashanam is amazing. He uses only how many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 words. He succinctly summarizes the 15th chapter. What he says is, Illadum, that which doesn't stay, that is, it constantly changes, that is Achit, or the insentient. Ulladum, that which stays, that is Jivatmas. Paramatma is different from both. Avanuru. Yellayil Annalam, he has got uncountable, immeasurable amount of Kalyana Gunas. So seek that person after giving up attachments to everything else. Approach with devotion that Bhagavan, who is filled with unlimited bliss and such qualities. That is Kalyana Gunas. So in one verse, Nammalvar explains the 15th chapter in utmost succinct, a powerful message. And this whole 10 Pashanams of Vidaman Muttamam, one has to realize, one has to understand over and over again. I know there are many people who know Tamil 1,000 times better than me. They know this truth. So now comes the 16th chapter. In the 16th chapter, this talks about the nature of divine, Daivi Sampat, and the nature of Rakshasas, or Asuri Sampat. What are these two? Oh, why am I worried about Asuras and Rakshasas? I'm not worried about it. I heard about it in Ramayana or something, some Rakshasa, Ramana, it seems, or some other Rakshasa, Indrajit maybe, whatever, whoever. Why should I worry about those age-old Rakshasa people? But what this chapter says is, find out who the Rakshasa is. That is the tricky question in the 16th chapter. Let us find out who that Rakshasa is. In the last three chapters, that is 13, 14, 15, They talked about Prakriti, Jiva, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas, and the Supreme Purushottama as different from all of these three entities. And the divine and the divine, the Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat, those we will talk about it. Those who submit to the Shastras, the Shastras are, whether you like it or not, Shastras will work. They're truth. Those who submit to it are those who have Daivi nature. And those Daivi Sampat people have naturally, they are not afraid. They are fearless. They're pure, sattvic, and they are established in Jnana Yoga because they want pursuit of higher level values, higher value. What is higher? Jivatma Sakshatkar itself is higher here when compared to all the attachments to material existence. So they go through the path of Atma Sakshatkara, eventually leading to Paramatma Sakshatkara. Establishment in Jnana Yoga, charity. So the verses here are Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthithi, Dhanam, Damascha, Yajnascha, Swatyayaha, Tapa, Arjavam. Krishna goes on like this, right? We will understand each of this in a little bit detail, not much. Self-control, very important. This comes natural to people who have divine nature. Doing yajnas, they are important. Study of scriptures, tapas, penance, meditation, unity of action, mind, and speech. So you should not talk one thing and do one thing and think one thing. They should be all placed truly in the divine life and towards the divine path. Non-injury, not hurting anybody else. Not whether it's because, due to speech or due to thinking wrongly, you should not have that. Being truthful and controlling anger or absence of anger, that's a divine quality. Being peaceful. Another important thing, avoidance of gossip against each other. Oh my God, if you say this to somebody, how boring life is without gossip. What is this? Are they kidding? Gossip is the essence of life. I love to gossip. Why are these people talking about avoidance of gossip? That's what people think. But gossip causes unnecessary problems. One has to avoid it. And I have to teach it to myself first. Kindness to all beings. Dayad bhuteshu. Aloluptvam. Not thinking that somebody else is an object of pleasure. Softness. Mardavam, that is softness in dealing with everything. Shyness while getting into any situation where, oh my God, should I do this adharmic work or not? If I do this, don't you think I will get into adharmic ways? You should be shy of such instances. You should shy away from situations where you might get away from the path of dharma. Avoidance of temptation. Very hard to do that. And power to resist wicked people. So wicked people can guide you and push you into the wrong situations, but one has to have the guts to face them and say, I'm not going to be influenced or pushed away from the path of dharma. Forgiveness in situations where people, find people making mistakes, and one should develop forgiveness. And also courage to execute and stay in the right path. Very difficult to have this courage because obstacles keep on coming and one has to constantly switch back to the path of dharma. And keeping our senses pure, sensual pursuits pure. Again, harmlessness towards others, absence of pride, saying that, oh, I'm greater. I am now realized person, I am that, all this kind of pride one has to avoid. This comes natural to the pure person. One doesn't even have to try because Over janmas and janmas, this person has perfected the path of dharma, and that becomes a secondary nature for this divine person. How nice to be in this situation. But are we? And who are these asuras? Krishna talks about asura. Dambo, Darpho, Abhimanascha, from the verse 4 of the 16th chapter, he talks about Asuric nature, pride, ostentation, being a show-off, showing off everything. That itself is Asuric tendencies. Tell me how many of us have conquered this? Ego, thinking that, oh, I'm great. I am this kind of person. I am from this family. I have already, I'm not a middle class person. I've already become rich and I know what to do. Ego of wealth, ego of education, and ego of good birth in the right family. All these things have to be avoided. Anger, harshness in dealing with people or any situation. Oh, how hard it is to do this. Ignorance, ajnanam. So one should not have ignorance. That means your knowledge should be pretty, you should understand things as it is. How difficult is this? These are natural by birth to the Asuric people. That means they have ignorance, they are harsh, they are angry, they have ego, they have ostentation, pride. So the Asuric tendencies binds people into situations, they will be tied by more and more ropes of bondage, which they don't know. They don't realize they are tied, but they are stuck in situations because of this bad qualities. And spiritually, they get degraded. But the Daivi Sampat elevates one spiritually. So we should tend to go towards the Daivi Sampat. People are born in these two groups. Utpatti Kale Eva. I am actually summarizing Ramanuja.org here if you have forgotten. I want to simply summarize Ramanuja.org because this is common. I am also summarizing a lot of common points in the Madhva Bhasha and in Shankara Bhasha also. So this is a common essence of the Bhagavad Gita. We are summarizing, but while using Ramanuja.org as the leading Bhasha for now, for the next few classes. So the Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat comes by birth itself, because in the previous janmas, if people have not done the right things, they are born into bodies which naturally have these tendencies of Asura or the demonic qualities, demon-like qualities. Utpatti Kale Eva, that's what Ramanuja.org says here. Right at birth, they go into different yonis, which give them different attributes, features, nature of the body. The Asuric tendencies are here. The demoniac people do not know what is right or wrong, what to give up, what to hold on to. There is no purity or good conduct. Pravrittimcha, nivrittimcha, janana vidurasuraha, that's what they say. They say that world is not controlled by Brahman. They think that desire, lust is the cause of this changing universe. That's what causes this universe to grow, to develop, to go further. Where is Brahman? Brahman doesn't exist. There is no ruler. Nothing which rules. I have not seen any ruler. Have you? That's what they ask. With this view, with this kind of view, obviously they think that they can do anything and get away. There is no morality. There is no fear of punishment. Once I somehow, due to some luck, if I get some wealth and power and things like that, I can misuse. So these people engage in cruelty and destroy the world just for personal gains. They're obsessed with desires. Desires is the only thing they care about. Vanity, pride, arrogance, stick to erroneous views, act with improper decision. Their buddhi or intelligence is in a different direction, in the wrong direction. So obsessed with innumerable convictions that this is true, this is true. When something is not true, they think that that is the truth. And they said, okay, what is wrong in gratifying the senses? They can do anything and gratify the senses. There should be no rules or regulations, almost like the animal world. Their attraction to desires, their desires will stop acting only when they die. So till they die, they're constantly going after sensual pleasures. Highest goal for them is enjoyment, enjoyment, enjoyment. I have seen such people, and I hope I don't become one of them. Here, I want to ask you, why are we talking about this basic stuff? This is basic. Everybody knows this. What's big deal about this? And particularly some people might be of this kind of a view. Well, we are Sri Vaishnavas. According to Sri Vaishnava theory, if we think that Perumal himself if we know that Perumal is the giver and he is everything, and if we have done some surrender to Perumal, he will take care of everything. All these things are unnecessary. This is where a lot of people disagree. And Buddhists focus on these qualities a lot. I've seen Buddhism in general focuses on simplicity, focus on lack of desire, anger, greed. Think about greed. You might somehow get away from anger and desires, but greed. See, I've seen so many people, right? I've seen many people, I'm sure all of you have seen. They're happy when they say, okay, oh, my children are studying in very advanced technology companies, universities and business schools and this and stuff like that. We take that as pride. How many of us think that, well, my son or my daughter has studied all the Shastras? They're not very rich, but they know Shastras very well. They are very simple, pure. They don't have much money, but they are very, very advanced and sincere, and they have divine qualities. How many people are proud about it? You answer the question. I won't. You think for yourself. You have to look. We have to look ourselves in the mirror and figure out who we are. And I find that I cannot talk about others. I find that every time I see myself in the mirror, I see a lot of asuras, rakshasas, bad qualities hiding in me, constantly enjoying my body, saying that they're there, they're not going to go away. So I feel maybe I'm very depraved and very low-level person, but I feel the 16th chapter reminds us that we have to get away from this, which are constantly battling us. In fact, when we do Sandhya Vandana, they say, what do you call, if you do Sandhya Vandana in the right time, the asuras will go away. Where are these asuras? So the thing is, Mande Harune, Dvipe Prakshipanti, the Vedas say, if Arghya, when the Gayatri Mantra Arghya has given, these Daityas, Asuras and all, they'll go away. They are chased away, and they will go and hide in Mande Harune, Dvipe or something like that. They are thrown away somewhere. Where are these Asuras? Where are these Rakshasas? They're sitting in us, sitting inside us. So we need to clean every day. This is important. I hope people realize. Am I making sense? Or I'm just giving a soliloquy or some kind of a monologue? Are you hearing me?
Krishna Swami, that reminded me of one more thing ninga chonnadu. Vaikunta Ekadashiki Parampada Sobana Padonna number one Valadum. I don't know if it's something you've heard of it. Paramapada Sobana Padam and the Dayam Pota Valadum.
Correct.
Okay, அது வந்து எங்க தாத்தா சொல்லுவா, all of that is happening inside you, and all snakes are all the Asuras, and then
Exactly.
all the ladders or all the devas that is within you, and then you will reach the God inside you. நீ நிறைய தரம் கீழே விழுந்தாலும் திருப்பி மேலே ஏறி போகணும், and you have to keep playing even if you're the only person remaining. You have to keep playing until you get there.
Right.
And so what you just said reminded me of that, so I thought I'll share that too.
Definitely. There's see, the thing is, see, what do you call, this is something many of the Vedantas overlook this, and I found the practices given in Buddhism are much more they stress on this point a lot more than the Vedanta. The Vedanta will get stuck with, oh, is Kaivalya lower than Paramapada or not? Is Kaivalya is going to get me into a different line altogether and I don't get back? Is it a fork, unending fork where you go there? Or Vaikuntha is better? Man, what are we talking about? Where are we right now? Are we close to Kaivalya or are we close to Vaikuntha? We are sitting right here. Develop these divine qualities first. This is very important. And I think, I may be wrong, you tell me. I grew up in a situation, in a family where Vedanta was given priority. But at the same time, secretly, there was always comparisons between cousins and other people. Oh my God, that guy got a job. He got a 200K job. Oh my God. Nobody told me that, this person has finished learning Yajurveda already. Now he is starting with Rigveda. Being an Yajurvedi, learning Rigveda is very difficult, but this guy has already finished Yajurveda and then now he's learning Rigveda. Suddenly, one other cousin will come and say, what does he earn, man? He doesn't have any job. It seems that he was looking for some money to buy basic things. Look at how we talk. Am I representing the common man, or is it not? Is it happening only in my family and not in anybody else's family? Please open up. Please talk. Be honest. I hear.
That's
Definitely
human nature,
happens
I
in
think.
each and every family.
Okay, nice to hear. I thought I only heard silence, and I thought my family is a problem.
Sounds of silence.
Only at
Talk
this
aloud.
stage we are able to understand all this, not before.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's very hard to get away from greed because we don't know how much we need for our families, because nothing seems to be enough because of inflation. We need to constantly work and make sure, oh my God, are my children okay? Will I get enough money till I live here? So this is a very, very powerful problem. It is not easy to solve. Not that it is so easy to solve. And the life is changing. We are not living in the older times when there was Varnashrama Dharma. The kings used to bring a lot of money and take care of all the families, and all they had to study. The Brahmins had to study only. The Kshatriyas had to do their job, and other people had to just support. It was a different world altogether. Today we don't have that world, and we still have to instill these Vedantic values and divine values in spite of the changing world around us. There's a hard job. I'm not saying it's easy. Every one of us have to try to solve it and try to understand the basics. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now we'll continue. So these Asuric people, they have hundreds of desires and attachments, not one or two. And in every one of them, it involves lust, anger, and that becomes their second nature. Then, how can you, it is, see, the thing is, when I first realized, right, when I was doing technical work a long time back, then suddenly I got bored of technical work and I wanted to go to marketing and sales. There, I found such big, vice presidents lying constantly, giving wrong promises, and knowing very well that they are lying. They were continuously doing it and say that is a nature. And in fact, oh my God, if I don't lie, I cannot be in sales. So I started lying. And constantly you have to bring more revenues to the company, more money to the company. So at hook or crook, you have to book more revenue every 3 months, every 2 months. You're judged by being greedy. So this universe around us makes you attached to greed, anger, lust. If you don't achieve what your goals, you are angry. Your boss is angry. Everybody is angry. So we give ourselves we are in an environment which supports Asuric qualities more. And getting money by unfair means is very natural. It is okay. That's what the devilish people think. And we become one of them because of Sambandha Sangha. And obviously you think, these devilish people think, I'm not saying you, the Asuric people think, I achieved this, I love Shiv more. Soon everything will be mine. I kill this person, I will kill other people also. I am the ruler, I'm independent, I'm the enjoyer, the mighty one, I'm wealthy. Is there anybody equal to me? I'll beat them up, for sure. I am the person who gives charity and rejoice. All these people, these thoughts come to people constantly who are Asuric, and they're confused, and they fall into Naraka. Patanti Narake Shuchau. Aneka Chitta Vibrantaha. This is Lord Krishna's words. Here and there, we should remember the Sanskrit. You will get the idea in a different way. Aneka Chitta Vibrantaha, Moha Jala Samavrutaha. They're confused. Prasaktaha Kama Bhogeshu, but still they want to enjoy desires all the time. Patanti Narakea Shuchau. They fall in unclean narakas. Atmasambhavitaha Stabdaha. And it goes on and on and on. I don't want to go into the whole 16th chapter. What Krishna says is, Tanaham Dvishataha. I hate these people. Kruran. Samsareshu Naradhaman. They are the worst among people. Kshipami Ajasram Ashubhan. Asurishveva Yonishu. This is the 19th verse of the 16th chapter. That is, I throw them into the Asuric wombs again and again. By nature, they become bad because they are thrown into the wombs, which and also the environments which support these kind of Asuric tendencies. Asurim Yonimapannaha, those who are in the wombs or who are born out of the wombs of the Asuras are Asuric people. Mudha Janmani, they are deluded in every birth. Mam aprapyaiva kaunteya, without achieving me, without attaining me, without ever coming close to me. Tato yanti adhamam gatim, they eventually go to worse and worse states. So these two verses are very important because in the previous verse, Kshipami Ajasram Ashubhan Asuri Shvevayonishu, they say that Ajasram means forever. Forever I will throw them into these Asuric wombs and they become worse and worse and worse and never will attend me. What does it mean? Is Krishna talking about eternal hell? This is a dangerous situation here. And in fact, in the Ramanuja.org, they say, no, even though these statements are so powerful, Krishna's Karuna is even more powerful than all these situations. There is nothing which can match the Karuna of Krishna. There is no bad action anybody can do anywhere in this universe, including the Hitlers all put together, and all the Rakshasas put together, which are not solvable, which can match the infinite mercy of Perumal. But Perumal may take a long time to help them out, but he will change his mind eventually, because he is looking for a person to change their attitude. So we should not be in this kind of bad attitude. We should not develop these attitudes. We should develop the right qualities. That's what is the summary here. So very important thing Lord Krishna mentions here is Trividham naragasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kamaha krodha tata lobha tasmad etat trayam tyajet. Krishna says there are only 3 doors to hell. Naraka. There are 3 doors to get to Naraka, not just one. You can choose any one of them or all of them. But all these doors lead to Naraka. That is desire, anger, greed. Kamaha, Krodaha, Lobha. Lobha is very difficult to give up in this world. Greed has to be controlled. Anger has to be controlled. Desire has to be controlled or eliminated. All 3 have to be eliminated. So once a person, the next verse is beautiful, and I'm sure we have mentioned it earlier also. Etair vimuktah kaunteya tamodvaraihi trivihi naraha acharati atmanah shreya tato yati parangatim. This is the 1622. The word etair vimuktah is very important. Do you think you can win over desire, anger, and greed? No, you cannot. You have to surrender to Lord Krishna. And that is why you are being released, etair vimuktaha, having been released from these doors which point towards Naraka. A person, after being saved by being jumping into these 3 doors, saved from there, such a person, acharati atmanah shreyaha, he will do something good for himself. Tato yati parangatim. Eventually, he will get a good position. Paragati, paramgati means higher level. He will become more sattvic and go higher towards Perumal, towards Srimanarayana. That's what this shloka says. It's a wonderful shloka. Next comes an important point here. This is the intro to the 17th chapter given by Lord Krishna himself. Yes, Shastra vidhi mutsrijya vartate kamakarataha na sasiddhim avapnoti na sukham na parangatim. If somebody says Shastras are not important, Shastra vidhi means there are rules and regulations, do this at this time, at this, like this. There are so many restrictions in the Shastras. If you ignore them, if anybody ignores them, vartate kamakarataha, driven by just desires, if he ignores these Shastric injunctions, such a person will not achieve siddhi or success. Na sukham. No, that person will not even attain happiness here. Na parangatim. Nor will that person attain a good position or a higher loka after death. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavastito. So follow the Shastras. Whenever there is a problem saying that should I do this way or that way, should I do this or not? Whenever such problems exist, such doubts come to our minds, we have to see the Shastras, look at Shastras and get the guidance of the Shastras. Nyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam. After knowing the guidance from the Shastra, Karma Kartum Iharhasi, you can do the right work, your action. That is the 16th shloka, 16th chapter of 24 shloka. That is the last shloka of the 16th chapter. Here, I have found, somebody told me this recently. It was interesting conversation. I wanted to let you know. He said, you know one thing, Krishna, Prapatti is the main thing. That is, surrender to the Lord is the main thing. And in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, there are methods to do Prapatti. You go to an Acharya and request, and then they will do Prapatti for you. What are the prerequisites for the Prapatti? They say there are 5 prerequisites, Panchanga. The prerequisites are Anukulyasya Sankalpaha. Anukulyasya Sankalpaha means you promise to be in accordance with the will of Sriman Narayana, that is dictates of Sriman Narayana, you follow. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam. That means you will not do something which displeases Sriman Narayana, the Lord. Goptrita varnam, you will ask for protection because you are unable to win over the problems of life, not even anger, desire, and all. So you will ask Perumal to give you the strength or take care of all these things for you. Goptrita varnam, Mahavishwasaha. Mahavishwasaha is absolute faith in Sriman Narayana that he will protect you. He will always be with you. There is no doubt about it. So this is what people say. Out of this, we are not going deep into this subject, but my friend of mine told me, you know one thing, Krishna, none of these 5 requirements or whatever, I forgot one more requirement. I'm sorry which one it is, whatever it is. None of these requirements may tell me I should do Sandhya Vandana every day, right? Sandhya Vandana is not included in this. So I can give up Sandhya Vandana. Even for Prapatti, there is no particular injunction or requirement to do Yajna Yagadis or any kind of Vaidika karmas of any kind, right? Even doing, what do you call, Kena Homa, once a year they do, once a year they change the punals and other things, the Yajnopavita Dharana, all these things are there. There are different rules for the Grihasthas and the what do you call, and Brahmacharis. So all these things I'm not going to do. Why? Because there are only 5 requirements for surrendering. Once you surrender, there is a guarantee that you will reach Sriman Narayana and you will get moksha. You will go to Vaikuntha. When all these things are so simple, why is so much of complexity in Veda Vihita Karma and Sandhya Vandana, all those things, the Tarpanadis for the Pitras, doing all these things, the mess. Rituals are boring. It's a time waste. And today in this modern world, we should give up all these rituals. That's what people say. But 16th chapter seems to say that Tasma Shastram Pramanante, that is, you have to follow the rules and regulations of the Vaidika Karmas, Shastras. And if you don't follow, you are an Asura. You are not nobody, you are just like the Rakshasas, nothing else. So it seems there is a Tirumangaya or Pashuram, which says that, if you don't give Pradhana in the right time, if you don't do the Yajna Velvi, I don't remember the Tirumangaya or Pashuram. I'm trying to search for it. In fact, a friend of a good guru, one of my teachers in a way, Sridhar Swami here in Bangalore, said that he would tell me the shloka. I forgot to ask him. If you find it from Tirumangaya or Pashrams, please let me know by email or by message. And they clearly, Tirumangaya says, those who give up the Sandhya Vandana and other karmas at the right time, they are asuras. Before somebody calls you a Rakshasa, try to follow something. This is what was said to me. I just wanted to remember. Hope this is it's correct to this context. Here now, we will open this for question answers because on 17th chapter, I won't have time to ask. Quickly, if there are any questions, please let me know. I'm going to stop here.
Krishna Swami, I had a question. Ninga chonnala and the 5 things. One of them is living by the will of Perumal. Krishna already has said that he is the meaning of all of the Vedas, and he is the one who is actually is represented there. So how can they say that we don't have to follow any of the rules? If Krishna...
They say, Anukulyasya sankalpa only, right? You just make a promise there, right? At that moment, you are very serious and you will make a promise. That is enough. Some people take it very lightly. Okay. The dictates of the requirements that, Anukulyasya sankalpa, Pratikulyasya varjanam, Goptrita, they take it very lightly. Many, this is common. They may say that I am serious and all those things, but after one day or something, they will forget. Then they will give an excuse that, oh, if I have that particular attitude at that moment when the Acharya is doing the Sharanagati, Prapatti for me and all, that is enough for me. So people say that. It's in a way true. But the thing is that is not the real truth. So many people don't take it seriously.
Can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
What about people in other parts of the world, a Japanese or a Chinese or, or a Russian or Austrian or somebody else? Do they not go to heaven? Do they not get moksha? They are not
We never said that. Anybody is okay for moksha, right? The thing is, their varnashrama dharma will be different.
So
See,
they follow
varnashrama dharma is important only when, if I am born in a particular family and if I am guided in the right path even from birth, and if I give up those kind of Vaidika karmas and all those things, then there is a problem. An Austrian was not born in that situation. That person wanted to get this one, they can definitely do something good to improve and then go towards the higher level. Daivi sampat, right? Divine qualities can be developed from anywhere.
Okay, another question I have is, I want my son to be, go send him to a school, a spiritual school to study Vedanta. Okay, then he becomes big and he doesn't get a job. I don't have the money to support him. How does he look after the family? It is a very difficult choice. I would like to do it, but I cannot.
It is a difficult choice. It is a difficult choice. See, what I am saying is, this is why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said a very simple answer to this. A person came from, he was working in a rice mill. Rice mill, in the olden times, there is a stone which they keep the rice, they put rice into it, and there is a stone they keep on grinding, right? He was working from morning to evening in a rice mill. He didn't have any time. He asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what can I do? I cannot think of God or anything like that. He says, yeah, hold on to God with one hand and still try to do the rice mill. That means what he's saying is, while we are engaged in this life, okay, see, you should get a lot of money. What Shastra, Vedas themselves say, Bahuda Artham Amanyat or something. I don't exactly know the particular Vedic sentence. You have to get a lot of money, the Shastra says. Kimartham, dharmartham, to help others, for charity. Once you have enough for yourself, help others. So going after money is not bad. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, both are important. You have to balance it. But you should not give up one for the other. Or we should not try to get money using means which are not dharmic. You have to try to stay in the path of dharma while earning money. It is, see, what it is, in the Bhagavata, it says that a person who is in the very beginning, right? In the very beginning in the Bhagavata, it says, a person can give up his swadharma in times of difficulty. That means a Brahmin does not have to do Vedadhyana when it comes to difficulty. When he is in difficult situation, he can do any dharma. He can go to engineering, he can become a doctor, he can become a lawyer, he can do anything, he can go to the military, he can fight, or he can serve some other company, person or something to get money out from them. So in times of difficulty, you can do other dharmas. But when the difficulties go away, you have to switch back to your dharma and try to hold on to your dharma. If you don't do that, then there is a problem. See, the thing is, at some years of our life, right, when you are studying, when you are getting your first job and other things like that, don't jump into spiritual thing right away. Just keep on reading one chapter a day, someday. Slowly increase it as bit. Once you become wealthy and you know that you can support your family, you won't have that much problem. You start devoting more time towards spiritual pursuits eventually, right? Then, okay, you have some money. See, even if, I know one person, I met a person called, I don't want to name him, nothing, he passed away, so I don't want to name him. he was my boss in San Diego, California. In San Diego, California, I was working for a company, and it was a very small company, but he was the boss. He used to come with needles and that, and they stuck to his body because, hey, Alan, how are you, man? Where did you go? And then the guy said, I had to the doctor, I have lots of issues, and he's on IV and that and this. Even while having IV machine and having a oxygen tank is connected to him because of heart problems. And the oxygen, there's a pipe which gives oxygen to his nose constantly. And he's holding onto the oxygen tank also. And that tank is being, like a dolly. He draws that oxygen tanks while he walks to the elevator or going somewhere. He's in that situation. But you know what he says? You don't think this stock, we have to invest in this stock. If we invest in this stock, we will become very rich. And one more thing, Krishna, I want you to do this. Do this job. Go get this company. We will acquire this company. Just go talk to that CEO today. By afternoon, I'm going to the hospital at 3 o'clock. You come and meet me at 4 o'clock. After the hospital, I'll come here. And we will discuss about how to acquire that company. This is the way he talks. While he is being, he was almost on his deathbed. He didn't live more than 6 months after that. I got this today. I will get more tomorrow. I can't give up if I don't do this, my company will fail. I have to do this. So the person goes all the way till death. What do you think? Is this greed, or is this he's just taking care of himself in the right times? What do you suggest? You have to think at one time in life saying that I have enough money, I will survive. Other people who have less money than me are surviving. I may not have that.
I'm not talking about that. Yes, all of us are doing that. We would like to. But I'm talking about sending a child to, instead of sending him BA economics, I'm sending him to a Vedanta school.
Look, the thing is, there is a choice. If you think you have enough money to support your child, you could send that person to Vedadhyana school. And you're not going to send the Vedadhyana school for the next 1,000 years. It will be only 5 years, 7 years. Afterwards, if you say, okay, I'm going to send him to, computer school also on the side. And maybe if he really needs to switch over to computer, he will switch over eventually.
Yeah,
See, there are ways to balance situation. Greed is the problem. If your goal is, I want to become a millionaire before I die, I want to become a 50 million before I die. All this thing, then you are setting the goals too high, and you have to work very hard to get there. And you may, with all the hard work, you may never get there.
This is Hema, and I have a question here.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned Sandhya Vandana as a method of cleansing for men. What about ladies?
Definitely, there are a number of, don't ask me about Stri Dharmas, because lighting up a lamp in the Perumal Sannidhi, that one supporting, cleaning the vessels for Aradhanam, doing this, supporting the husband, supporting the family, guiding the children. These are all good, studying yourself, learning, understanding. All these things are common for women. Just because of Sandhyavandana doesn't matter. For them, some things are there, some things are not there. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yanme bhaktya prayachati. You can do any kind of worship just with flowers, with a little water. Bhakti in your mind, bhakti in your heart. This is what is needed here. So there are other duties for women, and that's what, see, the thing is, if you think that we are only cooking for ourselves, that is wrong. While cooking, you think of God, that you are offering it to God. This food is going to nourish our, first, let me offer this to the Lord, and then think that it's going to nourish all of us to go and to do something good today. Tomorrow it's a different situation. So every act, all these things can be, women can do. Don't just refer to Sri Dharmas. In Sri Dharma, there are a lot of dictates in the Aige Shingar's book. There is a lot of dictates in Sri Dharmas. Can you follow them? If you can, my mother wants to follow them. She says that is important to me. She has to do that kolam. She has to wash in such a certain way. She can do that. She can do the, and while doing this, she just does japa. She chants the names of so many things, so many lords, so many, the 24 that nama, this nama, and all those things. There are so many things listed in the Kainkarya Anhika Grantham written by the 45th GR of Ahobilamat. You can Sri Dharmaha, you can follow if you want. But some people may not be able to follow. Follow something simple. There are a number of things to learn. Am I making sense or no sense?
No, you answered me very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
another question. One more
Okay,
question.
go ahead. Hemaji, go ahead first before finish it up. Go ahead.
Okay. So you mentioned that when we learn Shastras, Shastras will guide us to do the right things. So how do we develop interest in learning Shastras?
See, to me, the best thing is to ask somebody, not learn by yourself. See, I never learned by myself. I never studied anything. I always had a wonderful teacher in front of me, and all I used to do is only when something. See, you don't learn by yourself, right? Do you like to learn by yourself? Force yourself to some kind of a regiment, like a military regiment. We don't do that, right? We don't like to. We want to have a cup of coffee in the morning. That is just calm down, look at the papers or whatever it is, right? Generally, we want to be lazy and enjoy whatever it is. What happened was I had a situation in my life. The grandmother who brought me up passed away when she was 59 years old. I was only 19 years old at that time. Then suddenly the questions popped up in my mind when I was doing the funeral services in the smashana to my grandmother. I started thinking, where is she now? Yesterday she gave me food and today she is not there. Where is she? Why are we doing this? All these kind of questions popped up. When you have questions, you ask to the right person. So if you know somebody is really reliable and you think that that person knows something, you go find such a guru, ask that person. So to create interest, you have to, it's probably inborn in nature for some people. Some people have situations in their life which guide them to ask them question, go Pariprashnena sevaya, upadekshante te jnanam, jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. So the thing is, Krishna himself says, go find a guru. Ask questions when something is bothering you. Don't hide your questions. Don't ignore your questions. Write down your questions when it comes to you. Because next day, the Kama, Krodha, the Lobha will be so powerful, you will forget the questions.
Okay, thank you.
Narasimhanji.
Yes, Swami. I'm just adding one thing regarding Sandhya Vandana. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. This is the thing. That is, the male is wearing second punul. That is second Yajnopavitam. The Grihasthashram. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. I think it is for Sris on behalf of second.
On behalf of the Sris,
I may be wrong. Yes.
That person is doing. So the Sris have to help the person do all the yajnas. Patyurno yajna samyoge, the Sanskrit term for patni, that means the wife is Patyurno yajna samyoge. When husband is doing yajnas, Sri has to help that person hand in hand, support that person. Only then yajna will come. For example, even if somebody is doing agrikarya every day, but patni hastat ardham adaya or something is there. That means this person is giving Soma, Swaha, whatever that mantra is there, right? Yes. There are different mantras you have to do agrikarya. Like patni hastat ardham grihitva, it says, wife has to give half the rice from her hands to him, and then he offers it to Agni. So the thing is, supporting a husband is very important, and that can be done. And that is the second punal is only for on behalf of the wife. This person is doing number of works.
So that is what I want to add. So Sris, no need to do Sandhya Vandanas, because on behalf of Sris, the male person is doing everything.
Exactly. Correct.
I may be wrong, but I don't know exactly.
No, that is
I
correct.
thought.
No, that is all correct. That is all correct.
And one more thing, Swami, regarding this moksha, if the person converts to some other religion, what happens to him?
Which
Suppose
person?
from Hinduism, yes,
No,
from
which
Hinduism,
person?
from Hinduism to Christianity or Muslim, something like that.
See, okay, I will give you an answer which is very, what do you call, unexpected. Okay.
Okay.
See,
No
what
problem.
it is. See, it all depends on what you were before. In Hinduism, is 1,000 religions right here, right?
Yes.
If he was a hunter and he was just doing hunting and doing nothing else, and he's a Hindu hunter, and he does not have any other way to go, and somebody says, okay, Christianity is better for you, and that guy converts to Christianity, he may develop some good qualities there. See, if you look at the 16th chapter, we are slowly going towards perfection, right? They can go convert to whatever religion they want, and they think that they are that is good enough for them. Because it depends on where you are, where that person is. If that person is a thief, it doesn't matter. For them, Buddhism may be better. They go, don't do this, don't do this. Okay, then he became a Buddhist. That's good enough, because that person spiritually will progress. It is not one lifetime for us, right?
Yes.
So we don't think from only a Shiva Vaishnava perspective only.
Okay.
Think about everybody. A person was born, and the mother was a hotel cook, and father was doing tailoring. What will that kid do? They will follow whatever is necessary at that time. And if they change their religion, see, 1 second, you have to be careful in religion, right? In religion, what happens is there are apostasy laws. You know what an apostasy law is? How many people know apostasy laws?
No, I don't know.
Anybody else who knows apostasy laws?
The consequences of not following the paths as set forth in the religion. It's much more established and followed in Islam more than Hinduism. But you can be killed, you can be stoned to death, and all those kind of sets of rules.
Correct. What it is apostasy laws means, suppose somebody converts to, say, suppose we have heard this happen in Telugu Nadu. The poor people in Telugu Nadu some people converted to Christianity, some people converted to Islam or something like that, right? Then what happened was that because they got from, some business people or some people said, okay, we'll pay for your fees for education. So they took the education fees, they converted to whatever that religion they gave us, they gave some support or something. Then after graduation, they converted back to Hinduism. Okay. But there are apostasy laws. Apostasy means if both in Christianity and Islam, the apostasy laws could be very serious, right? 13 countries in the world today, most of the countries are right around the corner of us. There are apostasy laws. If you convert to, say, Islam or Christianity, maybe mostly Islam, and if you want to convert back to Hinduism after some time, they won't allow. They can kill you potentially. They may be laws to kill that person, and there will be no problem for them to kill these people. But the thing is, they won't kill. They really don't go to that extent at all. There are laws. But the laws are very strictly encoded in their religion, or maybe to create fear, it doesn't matter. But conversion is not such a straightforward thing. You need to have belief in a different system to convert. And that belief is not common and not ordinary. And you have to look back and say, if there is an apostasy law, you cannot look back where you left. What will happen to them? Whatever good happened to them happened. They are also praying the same Lord. There is only one Lord. You can call it from different names. Brahman, the person who is beating the heart, my heart, the same person is beating somebody else's heart. Everybody in this universe is driven by a Lord. That person is same to everybody, but you can call them that person through different names. It doesn't matter. There's languages. Languages are different, faiths are different, religions are different, but the forces of the universe are common. The consciousness which is making me talk, the power behind my Jivatma, the power behind your Jivatma, all this have to be the same force, same person. So they will, whatever God has in written for them, that will happen for them.
Okay.
I
So
hope.
in that case,
I hope I confused you enough.
In that case, they have completely giving up their anushtanams. Am I right?
Yes,
They are giving dharma.
If we, for example,
That is what my clinching question. I have confused there. Suppose by knowingly, by knowingly someone is converted to other religion, so they are giving up all the dharmas.
Yes.
And they will take a new religion or something else. In order to giving up their karma, they are taking up this new religion, following the lazy path or some other path as they want, just like a Sankyas, like that they will do it, everything. So what happened to their dharmas?
They will lose, right? There is a consequence for leaving.
Yes.
See, if they were born into a particular religion, they were taught some things and all those things. And if there are good values in that, because they left it, that means that they lose some value, right? Yes. There are consequences for that.
Okay.
They will because original dharma, according to original dharma, aharaha sandhyam kurvita. That person, if he was doing sandhyavandam, he suddenly gives up sandhyavandam. That person will have whatever the Vaidika karma dictates. That papa, the sin will be there. Yes, and he has to do something else in his other rest of his life in a different religion to correct it. Maybe in the next religion, he says that, look, it is I don't like rituals or religion. I will help the Africans build a school in Africa. So I'll change my religion, and now I'm supporting public, and I'm working for the African poor people maybe he will get some punya out of it, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there is a papa. The sin is not going anywhere.
Yes,
because
yes.
he left the Vaidika dharma, his sin will be there. But the papa will, but the punya can occur if he does some good thing later.
By other means.
Yes, by other means.
Yes. Okay.
So life is a multi-dimensional system. It is not a single-dimensional system.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Krishna ji, I have another addition for the Yajnapavitam thing. And in our earlier class, you talked about the three granthis, the Brahma Granthi, Rudra Granthi, and Vishnu Granthi. So the Yajnapavitam and the Brahma Granthi represents our avidya. That's how my grandpa said. And so number one, the Kalyana Pandrache, we are taking another Brahma Granthi that represents the avidya of our wives. And number avalukku thali katrache moonu mudichu poduvom, which basically binds them, and they accept that bond of our three granthis. Na engloda Brahma Granthi, Rudra Granthi, Vishnu Granthi avala bind pannindirukku. And so they are going to help themselves and us to get rid of our own avidya. So eventually number mokshathukku poradhukku help pandradhukku. So this is a
no, very good point you brought. Very good point you brought. Excellent point you brought. See, the thing is, I will ask you one question. Where is that Brahma Granthi, Rudra Granthi, Vishnu Granthi?
Namakkulla dhaan irukku.
It is not just the knots tied onto the Poonal kair and the Poonal cotton thread and the moon mudichu podrom. Knots. It is not just that. They are indicative only. The knots are inside our heart.
அதோட பெரிஃபரல் ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன் தான் இதுன்னு சொல்வார். ஆனா அதனாலதான் வந்துட்டு யாராவது when they become a sannyasi, they are getting rid of it with an acknowledgement that avalor the initial avidya பேருக்கு, but they are still continuing to do other things because they still have other granthis that are binding them. ஆனா பூனல மாத்திரம் விட்டுருக்கான்னு சொல்லுவா.
Definitely. So the thing is, see, in fact, the family life should be in such a way that it should be supportive for both of them and the children to get rid of the knots. The Brahma Granthi, Rudra Granthi, and Vishnu Granthi are knots inside our heart, which will, once these knots are won over, or you will get realization within. So all of us should look for realization. That is the Vaidika Dharma. And there's a lot more serious yogic stuff hidden in this. We'll talk about it some other time. It's a very important point you brought.
Sir, hello?
Sure. Yes.
Sir, Ramanathan, sir, one question is there. When you were there, you had an opportunity of meeting gurus and you learned everything from your guru. But today's era, do you feel there's a vacuum where there is shortage of like the gurus, where we are not able to go and meet and learn such thing coming generation? So what are the methods you suggest, the best way where we can approach a guru and learn?
The thing is, see, everything, people have to work hard, Ramanathan ji.
Yes.
Right. See, the thing is, if suppose, what do you call, to go to America, people go and do TOEFL, GFL, they will work on GRE, they'll do it that, they will go sit in a queue in Madras Immigration Service for early mornings over 3 a.m. and then wait for in the queue, go get a visa and go there.
Yes.
Do you think they can't do it to find a guru?
They can do, sir.
It's hard work.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that easy to get. That's what
one should work hard and try to find. Gurus are hiding all over the place. Next street there will be a guru. The thing is, and there are many gurus. Bahubhyah shrotavyam, bahubihi shrotavyam, it says. Shastra says you should learn from many people, and you should learn among many people. That means among many students, because that way you interact with others and try to understand. You learn from everybody else. And in fact, you should learn from different gurus. This guru may only take you from step 1 to step 2. You may have some other guru who will take from step 2 to step 3. Like that, you constantly have to find the right direction.
Okay.
Very good. Well, why don't we stop here? It's already 9:30. We'll take up next weekend.
Sir, but the PDF documents we will upload, sir. Remaining classes.
The PDF. You mean the PDFs?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's a long overdue. I will try to work on it. I have 2 or 3 deadlines I'm working on. I'm trying to finish it. So I will do it. So I will do. Hemaji also asked me to put that PDF up, and I will have to send it to her. I will do it. We will work on it. I'm going to do something about it. Sure.
Thank you very much for that.
Hope this class was of any use, or too fundamental, too low level.
Interesting, very interesting information. Thank you.
Namaste. Asmat Gurubhyam, Mahasmat Parama Gurubhyam, Mahatma Sarva Gurubhyam, Mahasarvam Shri Krishnatma Vatsu. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Maha, Shri Lakshmi Nasimha Parabrahmane Maha, Shri Lakshmi Hayodana Parabrahmane Maha.